Hi. Hey, thank you. These braids hurt. Thank you. I am having a great day. So hello to everybody. Can you close this door for me, please? So I wanted to do, I've been trying to give y'all a Bible study, right? But I'll be trying to give you a hoodoo perspective or a practitioner's perspective or something like that. Because I think it's important that you know the Bible, right? Because you're going to use it in your work, but you also have an understanding of the power in it. The Bible is a spell book, like most people say, and they talk about and stuff like that. Thank you. But do you really understand the power? People use the Bible to make people feel bad, to manipulate them, to control them. But I like to use the Bible to encourage, to increase your value, your words, your spirit, your energy. And so, what I said I was going to do this year was that I was going to start teaching from it, but in a perspective where you can utilize it more. And it's not meant to condemn, it's meant to condition and to help. This goes along with my PhD. So while I'm going through my PhD, I am actually taking some of the lessons that I learned and I'm sharing it with you too. And I'm putting a different type of spirituality on it. Because a lot of y'all, the only time that you believe something, if it was written in the Bible, because most of y'all think that the Bible is the only Bible that exists and it's the only thing that exists and it's it's the end all to be all, but it took hundreds of years to write the Bible through different cultures, different genres, different um, languages, different native people. It took all kind of people to write the Bible. That's why it's so contradictory. Because a lot of you guys don't know for 400 years, they didn't even practice a spirituality, such as Christianity. So there was nothing to write about. So I think that it's important that you know as much about Biblemancy as possible. And I'm not eating today, so that should make y'all happy. And I just always want to share what I know. So anything that I learned in my PhD program that I feel like that can assist you in becoming a better practitioner, a better worker, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you. All right. And okay, let's look at mine. What you say, F them? Okay, I wouldn't give a fuck no way, but I just thought I would mention it. I'm not actually eating. I did have a chicken strip and I had a couple of bites full of coleslaw and I had one fry from Cane's and I am stuffed. And this isn't actually any drink anymore. This is actually water, and I put some of this liquid IV in there because since the surgery, I kind of stay dehydrated. So, these lessons that I'm going to talk about concerning Miss Hannah, they're really important lessons, and it's just I want to teach um, how the Bible is such a powerful spell book. And let's be honest, sometimes life will throw you curveballs, and you just don't know what the fuck to do. And so if you're looking for like some encouragement in your life and even praying, because I still pray, but my prayer is different. I have my altar over there that I pray to and write spells to. But I want you guys to be encouraged through Hannah. I actually sell a Hannah oil if you're trying to get pregnant. I've been selling it for a year or so now. But the story of Hannah in the Bible, it's found in First Samuel through First Samuel 2, 1 through 10. And so, in summary, Hannah was one of two wives of Elkanah. I bet you guys didn't know that he had two wives. People been practicing polygamy, okay? And so the other wife, Pina, had many children, but Hannah didn't have any. Pina, like, this bitch, if you rub her head, her forehead, this hoe get pregnant. Y'all know how y'all got friends like that, that if you rub this bitch forehead and she pregnant before he didn't even turn the motherfucking lights off. That's how Pina was, okay? So Hannah didn't have any children. So what made matters worse was that most hoes that got a whole bunch of kids love to provoke people. And that's what Pina, and I might be mispronouncing her name. I don't really give a fuck about that. Pina had provoked Hannah constantly about her barrenness. And what I would like to think is, barrenness is not just with children, it's being able to not birth ideas and not birth things that you want to manifest and increase in your life. That's how I took that. That's how, hey, darling, hi, Ashby. Like, that's how I took that. And so that's how your friends be. That's how your mama be. That's how your family be. You're not able to birth anything, and maybe they have a little bit, and they love to condemn you for your faith, your belief, or your lack of not having. But they do it without wanting to fucking help you themselves. So barrenness to me is just not about a baby per se. It's a not being able to birth ideas, not being in that creative space. Can anybody relate to that? So during that time, the entire family had gone to the temple. They didn't say church, they said temple. Okay. And so Hannah used the opportunity to pour out her heart to God, to the divine, about her desire to be a mother. Maybe you've done petitions on wanting to start a business or wanting to create something, and it just doesn't seem like it's working. Like nothing you fucking do actually measures to what it is that you're trying to have. And you can get so fucking discouraged. But Hannah didn't do that. She took the opportunity to do her work. Her work was going to the temple and pouring out her heart to God, because that's what it said, that she poured out her heart to be a mother. Just how bad do you want it? That's what that made me think. Just how bad do you want this? Just how bad do you want things to happen for you? Just how bad, or if you keep starting over because something keeps happening instead of continuing your shit on, then that's your fucking fault. Because sometimes things go on pause because the challenge is, will you still pursue it? Will you still go through it? Will you still fight for it? And I ain't talking about a nigga. I'm talking about something substantial, because sometimes relationships. So because she was praying, right, so feverishly, and the priest thought that she was drunk. and they start scolding her. Have y'all ever been really trying y'all fucking best to do something and some motherfucker that think that they more hierarchy than you try to check you on how you need to be doing something? Say, my nigga, she wasn't drunk. And so he started scolding her. And she could have reacted and be like, get the fuck out of my, and fuck up her work by being emotional. Because that's how some of y'all are. Y'all get emotional when somebody try to correct y'all. Don't get emotional. Stay in your zone. It's just a test. How bad do you want it? So she told the priest about her troubles. He saw her struggle. He saw what she was going through. So he feverishly said, I pronounce a declaration over her. Just like if you're willing to do the work, I pronounce a declaration over your life. May everything you touch, may it manifest in the way that you need it to manifest, but only if you do your work, because nothing is just given. Nothing is just given. You have to work for it. And as long as y'all are willing to work for it, you going to have it. Remember what I said. Remember what I said. You got to learn how to bet on you. You got to learn how to bet on you. And if you are willing to bet on you, I'm going to stand with you and say, I speak to that dream. I speak to that manifestation. I speak to that. Like real talk. You cannot give up on you. You just can't. And so he pronounced the declaration over her, and she believed that. So sometime later, God answers her prayers, and she gave birth to a son whom she named Samuel. So how many years did she pray for a son? How many years have y'all prayed about something? Thank you. Thank you so much. How many years have y'all prayed about something? How many years have y'all prayed about it, but don't do nothing about it? How many years have y'all put a little work into it, but not enough? Like, y'all are so scared to jump anything when it's yours. The Nobody can stop shit. Can stop shit when it's yours. The only person that can stop it is you. So you can't be mad at anybody else. Excuse me, that song. Nobody can't be mad. Just to themselves if they don't get it. So how long did Hannah pray for her son? How long have you prayed for that business? How long have you prayed for that man? So to understand the depth of Hannah's pain, it might be helpful to have a perspective of the time she endured her situation. Think about your own. The scripture doesn't tell us how many years she prayed for a son, but some Jewish sources say it might have been up to 19 years. How long have y'all prayed for that nigga that still won't act right? How long y'all been praying for that nigga that's been nevering like he ain't never before? How long? So according to Jewish law, a married couple had up to 10 years to have children. 10 years. So if they produce no children within that time, the second wife can be taken by the husband to ensure that they follow God's command to be fruitful and multiply. Think about that. But guess what? It would have been the wife's responsibility to seek another woman with whom her husband could have children with. Now, let me give y'all some context and perspective. Y'all be trying to have these polyamorous relationships and stuff with these niggas, but y'all let the niggas choose the bitch. If y'all gonna be having threesomes and y'all gonna be doing shit like that, hey, more power to you. However, biblically speaking, It was for her. It was a wife's responsibility to seek another woman, not the nigga. I just thought I'd put that out there for y'all, for the kids in the bag. So remember how Hagar came to be pregnant by Abraham? So this might explain how Pina got into the picture in the first place, right? So, and this also explores why Elkanah preferred Hannah over Pina. See, keep this little detail in mind as I continue her story, okay? So, right. So let's begin. So, what is the meaning of Hannah's prayer? Hannah stands out in the Bible as both a heroine of faith as well as one of great examples of the power of fervent prayer, the power of fervent spell work. I keep telling y'all, spell work is a fucking release. And anybody that says that they're a Christian witch, and they don't teach like this, they are not a fucking Christian witch. I don't know what the fuck they are, but they're not a Christian witch. Okay, I don't proclaim to be a Christian at all. However, I am an ordained minister, and I am getting my PhD in. There's nothing wrong with my audio, baby. You might want to check yours. Mine is fine. I am getting my PhD in metaphysical sciences and also with a religious background. So, two of Hannah's prayers were recorded in the scriptures, and I will only deal with the first one, right? So, it actually, what can we learn about her prayer? Thank you, Latoya. What can we learn about her prayer? To open her heart, because a lot of y'all want this spell work and y'all want stuff to happen. Y'all want love to happen, but you don't open your heart. All right. So to open your heart, 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 open your heart. And so Hannah addresses God as the Lord of hosts. And this means that the Lord God of Almighty army. So this term is used 260 times in the Old Testament. Lord of hosts. That's a gem. So maybe when y'all doing y'all spell work, y'all calling down all. Lord of hosts. Say it with me. Lord of hosts. This means Lord of the Almighty army. That's calling everybody down. This term again is used 260 times in the Old Testament. Did y'all know that? I'm just gonna give y'all a little gem right there. So Hannah recognized that this was a battle, this was a warfare. They even said in the Bible that it's a spiritual warfare, that a lot of times you guys be going through shit. It's a spiritual warfare, it's not a physical one. So you gotta fight spiritual with spiritual. Just like when you fighting somebody physically, it's a physical thing. So she was under siege by her enemy, and sometimes your enemy is yourself. Come on. So she needed the God of war. She needed the God of war. She needed the God of war to step in. So Hannah praying one of the names of God. Remember, God has many names. So we can't just say God. He can be the divine. He can be the universal father. He can be the universal mother. God has many names. People are so quick to push the Bible onto people, but they don't study it and they don't know it. So she needed the God of war to step in. So depending on your situation, you always have to call on the divine, your ancestors, and appeal to the attribute that applies to your situation the best. Did y'all just hear what I said? You have to, depending on the situation, you have to call on the God and appeal to the attribute that applies to your situation the best. That means everybody can't serve the same master. Everybody can't serve the same spirit. I hope y'all getting this. I hope y'all getting this. And so Hannah's prayer was specific in its request. So Hannah was specific in her prayer. She asked God for exactly what she wanted. She said she wanted a son. She didn't say, "Oh, thank you, Ashby. Come on. Come on." I told you I'd be trying to give y'all gem. You gotta just listen. Y'all be forgetting that the Bible spoke in parables. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. So Hannah reached God, although it was silent. See, y'all be thinking that y'all work is supposed to be loud. It's supposed sometimes it's silent. So then she told God exactly what she was going to do when her request was granted. She was going to give him back to the service of God. Maybe, just maybe, when you are doing work, when you are divining, or when you're doing some type of divination, maybe instead of self-serving, maybe you need to be of service. That the gift that you have, it's able to service others. Maybe that's the key. Maybe that's why that work you're doing on a nigga ain't working, because he don't serve nobody, not even you. So prayer, Hannah's prayer reached God, although it was silent. So stop thinking that your shit has to be so loud sometimes. You can speak to with authority, silently. So when Eli approached Hannah, right, he thought that she was drunk because he heard no words coming from her lips. But she was probably really speaking. So apparently people would go to the temple in a drunken state after the fellowship meals was eaten, because back then you eat before you go to the temple, not after. Because you know how church is. You go to church and then they have a Sunday dinner. No, you would eat first, then go to the temple. I bet you I didn't know that too. That's why when you go to your ancestors, you should always take them food first. Before you ask for anything, feed them first. Give them drink. Give them food first. You don't reward them with food. No, you barter with your food. I bet y'all didn't know that either. Just trying to give y'all some gem. I'm just trying to help y'all out. If y'all gonna do this, do it right, goddamn it. So, um, Hannah was far from drunk. So, in fact, she was more sober than she had ever been, right? So, it's just that her prayer went from her lips to God's ears. Her silent words were heard by nobody but God. So, God listens. The divine listens to the unsaid prayers too. Your ancestors, they listen, they hear, even when you're not speaking no words. You want to know why? Because they made you. They know your heart. Just imagine if you would have been taught like this in church, how many of us would still be going? Think about this too. A wish, a desire, a thought, a sigh, a groan, a tear. Our ancestors, God, the divine, recognizes them all as prayers, y'all. Did y'all know that? that petition, that moaning, that crying, that pain. Oh, you're so welcome. So Hannah's prayer was accompanied by faith. And that's something a lot of y'all lack. You don't have faith in your work. You don't have faith in your workings. You don't have faith in the things that you learn. You don't apply that faith to anything that you do because you are so used to everything being so fucked up. You think that every time you lose a job or that nigga leave or you lose friends or your family turn against you, you literally think that I did something to deserve that. No, when you are fervently seeking something greater, sometimes these things have to be removed so that you can flourish. You were taught that God don't care about tears and cries. That's not true. That is not true. Your ancestors, the divine, they seek through pain. They seek through suffering. I'm just trying to help y'all out. I really enjoyed the Bible story that I gave y'all, and so I thought I would create these little videos to kind of help you out. And specifically, this is my PhD program that I'm specifically going on. And so I hope that this resonate with you guys, that you guys are able to see what I'm doing, seeing what I'm learning, see how I'm elevating, see how I'm increasing my knowledge. And I'm so willing to share with you guys. I've been suffering my whole life and I just want peace. Carpe Diaz nuts. You have to decide. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is based off happenings that you are allowing in your life. Because happiness is a choice. We cannot control other people. We can only control how we react to things and our own happenings. I do. I am on teaching of the Bible Mancy class. I am. Because y'all need to understand. I think I got one or two already. But I just be trying to break it down in a way that you really increase because you guys, you gotta have ownership. Everything that they have taken from the people of color, no matter what you are, uh, it was done to manipulate and to control. And I feel like the way that you transmute that is you take those things that was meant to harm you, use them to heal you. Use them to heal you. When I tell you, I realize I have so many godchildren that are authors now. And I'm so proud. That's such a flex. You can't come out of anything. So let me get back to that. So Hannah received Eli's declaration by faith. Her spirit was lifted, her anguish disappeared, her sorrow left. So she walked away, though Eli had told her that she was already pregnant. How many of y'all be sitting there worrying about something and you don't even realize that you've already did your work, so it's already worked out, but you sitting there worrying? One day, one day is many, many moons and many years from now. One day. That thing that you was so worried about, your anguish, your grief, it's already fucking worked out. I keep telling people you can't rush the process. Come on, thank you. Thank you. It's Danielle Gary. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I really, really do. So Hannah not only believed that God was powerful and mighty, she also was confident that God would use his might and his power in her life. So 5 quick tips for praying like Hannah. Like if you want to pray like Hannah, I want you to use these ideas. Address your God, your divine, your ancestors with the name that matches the attribute that you want him to use. That's number 1. Number 2, tell your ancestors the truth of what's in your heart. Be detailed and specific. That's number 2. Number 3, do your work in faith. Having faith in yourself, faith in all your abilities, faith in all the tools that you've used. Have no doubt, baby. No doubt. 4, receive what you said. You have to open the door for manifestations to come in because you have to believe. It doesn't matter if you can see it. It doesn't matter if you can smell it. It doesn't matter if you can touch it because you believed it. It is so. It is so because you fucking believed it. This shit don't have to make sense to nobody else. It just has to make sense to you. See, y'all too busy trying to convince other people about you. You can't do that because that's the way they fucking feel. And let me tell you something. If a person don't like you, there ain't shit you can do to change their mind. What normally happens is they either learn the truth and still don't want to fuck with you because now they feel guilty behind their own stupid ass judgment. Or it takes somebody else to be like, no, you misjudged her. You wrong. She ain't like that. She's like this. So again, you have to receive by faith. Receive by your faith. Receive who you are, by what you projected out there. 5, live in expectation. Y'all are so used to things falling apart, the ball dropping, that you don't live in expectation. Let me tell you something. Every day I expect it to be grand. Every day I expect to live in excellence. Every day I expect money to continue to flow to me. Every day I expect people that are not meaning me no good to step away side. Every day I have an expectation that everything is going to work out according to what I need, not what I want, but what I need for it to. Every day I have an expectation. Every day my expectation is going to be fulfilled. Every day my expectation for my purpose, for my life will be done. As above, so below. Every day I expect something miraculous to happen. Every day I expect something that's going to shock me in a good way. Every day I expect to live in abundance and blessed. Are y'all writing this down? Every day I have an expectation of me. Every day I have an expectation of all the people that are around me to be in accordance to where I need them to be. Every day I need this. This is not a want. This is a need. Thank you, Miss J. Elise. Thank you. Thank you. I say to you blessings. Every day I want to walk in my light. Every day I'm going to be on my soapbox. So every day I'm going to walk in my assurance that everything is always okay. Every day I have the expectation of greatness for me. Every day I understand no one's going to understand me all the time, but I expect for them to be cordial. And when they won't, I will read them for fucking filth because don't play with me. Every day I walk in Thanksgiving. I talk in Thanksgiving. I do this every day. Live in your expectations. Live in it. Live in your expectations. Stop just doing whatever. I hope that helped y'all. Another reason why I thought Hannah was so important, because her name means gracious. Hannah's life was rich to the overflowing and with practical life lessons. Lesson 1, Don't allow your tough situation to harden you. That's happened a lot. You have dated these hoe ass niggas. You done dated these niggas who wasn't about shit, and it has hardened your heart. If you are wanting things to flow a certain way for you, your heart cannot be hardened. You got to work on that heart chakra. The first lesson is that don't harden your heart. Then that means that's something that you need to work on. Not every house is a home, even when the people living there are believers. Maybe you live in a house full of Christians, but not every house is a home. It's not. Hannah was having a rough time at home, and that's still probably putting it very mildly, just like it is for you. Things were so bad she couldn't even enjoy a meal. Say hello to weight loss, say hello to stress. It wasn't easy living with Peanut. She capitalized on every single moment to remind Hannah of her inability to have children. Can you imagine? Bitch, I let you come into my house. How many people that live in your house, meaning y'all mamas, y'all daddies, y'all grandmamas, y'all like you doing them a favor, but they act like they doing you one. Girl, so anyone would be the kids too. So anyone would be justified in being angry and bitter and mean under such circumstances. Although Hannah had these trying circumstances at home, her character remained strong. It remained brave. But Hannah remained patient under all of that persecution, just like Abigail. Her temperament was not hardened. Instead, she grew more and more towards her work. And her worship became more intentional and real. Your work has to be more intentional and more real. Lesson two: no matter what you hold on in your spiritual life, in your path, no matter what, hold on to something. Don't let this shit go. Don't let the work go because it haven't manifested the way that you think it is or that you think it should. Don't let the work go. Don't let it go, y'all. Don't let it go. Hold on to your spiritual life and in your faith. Don't let the spiritual community, don't let them stop you from your greatness in this. Link up with a good mentor, with a good teacher. Link up with a group that's for you. Stop thinking that you're just going to fit in because you might not ever just do that. This is one of the toughest lessons. Holding on to your spiritual life because it's so easy to get off balance with this. It's so easy not to burn no candles no more, not to do no work no more. It's so easy for that. But Hannah was devout in her spiritual walk. You got to be the same fucking thing. But you got to move past that. You got to move past that. I do offer mentoring. Yes. The best way to do it truly is to book a conversation with me, and I'll either put you in my infinite energy group or I might offer it. Church hurt is a terrible hurt, but they are still people. Y'all put people like me and ministers and preachers, y'all put them on a pedestal, and y'all take out the fact that people are still human. Yes, on my website. You have to go on my website where it says book a reading and you can choose the conversation. Y'all got to get up and do work even when you don't want to. Create a routine even when you don't want to. I was alone with too. You have to go onto the website. You need to go onto the website. You need to go onto the website. You're not going to email me because I'm going to refer you back to the website. to book a conversation. There's no way around that, baby. Everybody have rules to them, and I do. I have boundaries and rules, and you got to learn them too. The website is magicalLadyDuchess.com. MAGICKALLADYDUCHESS. I'll put it down here in the link. I am nobody can walk in my store and just talk to me. Nobody can just walk up to me and start telling me their problems. I don't do that. I don't freestyle with my time. Do your work. Hannah's womb was empty, but her spirit was full, and that got her through the tough days. And let me tell you something, your ancestors, the spirits, they will fight for the faithful people. A lot of y'all do not be doing y'all work, but y'all expect for y'all ancestors just to give. It does not work like that. You got to do something too. You have a responsibility to the things that you want to. Y'all be thinking that, well, you could just tell somebody to do it or pay somebody to do it, and then boom, it's supposed to happen. No, you have to be, those boundaries are set. Yes, they are. Well, I'm glad that you are getting something out of this. Thank you. As I said earlier, Hannah recognized that she needed God's warrior attribute to show up for her. So her prayers was tailored for that. So God is in the business of fighting for his people. So are your ancestors. And your ancestors and God, the divine, whoever you want to call them, they're going to always win one way or another. Your ancestors will deliver you, because he is very capable of protecting his own reputation. Your ancestors, I keep telling you, they will always protect their reputation. They will always protect their name. Their name is your name. Your blood is their blood. They are always going to protect it. LT, fuck them. Shit. Don't nobody get the freestyle with me. You can't walk up in my store and just be like, I want to talk to Duchess. No. You can make an appointment. I have emergency consultations. If you want to bypass, make an appointment on my website. Ooh, you got them braids. If you want to do that, that's cool. You got to pay my fee. And I call you, I have up to 72 hours, which might be better than booking out for a fucking month or two out. But I have rules to me. You got to have rules and boundaries to you as well. Y'all just let people come into your life and just freestyle however, and then you make yourself know that you don't want to do it, knowing you ain't got the heart for it. Just let these people do whatever. Now you don't get to do that with me. You're gonna respect me because I'm gonna demand it. But at the same token, I'm gonna respect you too. I'm gonna respect your time too. So anyway, God will deliver his people. Your ancestors will deliver your people. Well, his people, her people. He is very much capable. God is capable. Your ancestors are capable of protecting their reputation. My heart rejoices in the Lord my horn is lifted. My mouth boasts over my enemies, for I delight in your deliverance. That's First Samuel 2 and 1. So Hannah smiled at her enemy because she recognized that God showed up for her and lifted her head from the shame that she carried. A lot of y'all need that work. Y'all need that work from Hannah. Hannah will help you heal. Hannah will make you find your empowerment. So, tips on how to stay positive when it seems like it's not working or you feel like your prayer is not working. Renee, I'm gonna be real honest with you. When your shit ain't working, it's you. You're not in your faith. You're in your fear. Emotional choices, emotional decisions, not holding the emotional maturity that you need to have, taking everything fucking personal, always being the victim. Like that, when you live in your fear like that, you will never win. The fear does. The fear wins every single time. So another lesson, and I ain't really ain't trying to make this long. Another lesson is prayers, spells of faith almost always require patience. A lot of y'all didn't finally burn the candle, and I say finally, because y'all ain't did burn the candle in 6 months, and you just wanted the boom happen. Your divine does answer prayers. Your ancestors does answer prayers. But the answers are not always a yes, nor are they always immediate. I'm never gonna coddle. We're not doing that. Y'all too old for that. Y'all sit up and be sucking dick, swallowing nuts, swallowing kids, taking it up the ass hole, and y'all want to be coddled? No, I ain't doing it. When nobody calling you and they were fucking you hard and shit. Mm-mm. Y'all not kids no more. Y'all grown. And most of y'all got kids of your own. I'm not your mama. I'm your mentor. Two different things. And I don't have to be sensitive to your sensitivity level. I do not have to be sensitive to your sensitivity level. Your emergency is not mine. That's the truth. And that's not me being mean. That's not me being facetious. That's me being real. When you come fucking with me, you got to put your big girl drawers on. You hear me? Because I handle everybody accordingly. Some people, I never have to go off on them because they going to listen. But them hard head hoes that don't want to listen, and I didn't sit up here and talk to them for an hour and they sit up and say, well, I don't know. Bitch, I just told you. So it ain't that you don't know. It's that you don't want to accept. Like I said, work, prayers, spells always require patience. Sometimes the answer is wait. That brings me to I'm gonna share this with y'all. I'm gonna share this with y'all because I think it's important. Um I shared it to my group, and I'm gonna share it to y'all with y'all as well. Um I shared this to my group, and I'm gonna read it to y'all. But I want y'all to see this. I blocked it out, the name and stuff like this. I'm gonna read it to y'all. Thank you, RW. I'm gonna read it to y'all because this goes along with the weight. She inboxed me. So she said, I know you don't like people to DM you. Backstory. Years ago, I contacted you to do an abortion spill on my son, baby mama. At the time, he had two kids and they had one together already. Well, after a consultation, you said no. I didn't like it or understand. It wasn't until the past week I got an aha moment. Their first child together passed away when she was 2, about 4 years ago this month. The child I wanted to abort is now 4, about to be 5. My son did not my son did go through a dark period, which any parent would after losing a child. Well, my aha moment is that the baby I wanted gone probably saved my son in ways I couldn't begin to understand. Not sure if you saw that or not, but thanks for not doing it. Blessings to this lady. Just think if I would have, that grandbaby would not be 4 or 5. But when I do a consultation, when I do a reading, if I say don't do it, don't pay somebody else to do it. Just don't do it. See, I deal with spiritual integrity. Somebody say spiritual integrity. A lot of people don't move like that. They trying to get their bills paid, and they will harp on your pain and your suffering, and they will milk it dry. I have spiritual integrity. I have fucked up a lot in my life, but I will never fuck up my spiritual integrity. I have fucked up a lot in my life, but I will never fuck over nobody. If I can help you, I will help you. If I can't, I won't. Spiritual integrity. I saw the death of the first child. And no, I did not tell her. Spirit told me not to. And I'm always going to be obedient to what the Spirit says to me. Y'all think that just because you get a downloaded message that you're supposed to tell everybody and everything, some stuff you should not be giving unsolicited. No, I'm going to say this. Most times, you should not be giving unsolicited messages. All times, things will be revealed, but sometimes you have to wait. In her case, wasn't waiting the best? Our spirit team is faithful when we are well intended. Our spirit team is faithful when we are well intentioned. Our spirit team is faithful when the solutions go really bad. It is very possible that a part of Hannah's burden was blaming herself for what she was enduring with Pina. As mentioned earlier, if Hannah did not have children for her husband, it would have been her responsibility to find her husband another wife. Sometimes decisions made with good and godly intentions can go seriously wrong and become a true thorn in the flesh. Like Paul. Paul had a thorn in his side. Ever made a decision because you thought you had the greater solution only to realize that you had invited misery into your life? I've done it. Hannah's testimony is one that I can relate to at this point. I've done it. You let somebody move in with you, you take him back for the upkeep time. We done all done it. I've done it, haven't y'all? See, our ancestors, they know our knowledge, and they know our knowledge is limited and our wisdom is weak sometimes. What did I say? They know our knowledge is limited, and they know our wisdom is weak sometimes. That's why we go to our ancestors for mercy and grace. Mercy and grace. That's why we do spell work, for mercy and grace. Sometimes even out of our own ignorance, because we don't know every fucking thing. Because sometimes our knowledge is limited, our wisdom is weak. Sometimes you can't blame nobody, and I'm not doing no victim blaming or no. It just it is what it is. I want to say this. Even our enemies have their story too. What did I say? Even our enemies have their story too. This is one of the practical lessons that I learned from Hannah. And it's something that we rarely ever think about. I kind of felt compassion for Pina. Here is a woman who had given birth to many children for a man whose affection she had not managed to secure. Imagine that. Because Elkanah, he loved Hannah. He loved Hannah. Imagine how much you love a particular man, and deep down you know you are not his person, that somebody else is. That's a lot. That's a hard pill to swallow, ain't it? So, in some aspects, because I look at stuff in perspective and I try to look at both sides, that's why when y'all have conversations about family, when y'all have conversations about things going on in y'all life, I look at both perspectives. I don't give an emotional, I give a perspective. Wow, that's why I don't be jealous of nobody because you never know what they went through to get there. That's right. Here was a woman who had given birth to many children for a man whose affection she had not managed to secure. Let me tell you something. Just because a nigga choose to be with you and fuck on you and shit, that don't mean he love you. I imagine she was jealous of the love that Elkanah had for Hannah, but not for her. And she bore him all those kids. Can you imagine? I imagine Elkanah must have looked at Hannah with a longing and a level of intimacy that Pina had never received. Remember, they were married 10 years before. I imagine how Elkanah must have been so tender and loving with Hannah and catering to her every want and her every need. I imagine that. Can you imagine Pina giving him what is it that biblically that he needed, but she couldn't give him what he wanted? And that was her heart. It make me think it ain't who you with, it's who you want to be. What's that song? It ain't where he at, it's where he want to be. Something with Keisha Cole. Anyway, that type shit. So Pina recognized that she was only valuable as her ability to get pregnant. She would never have been respected, or she would have been maybe respected, but never necessarily loved. Think about how many of y'all are in relationships that you are respected because of your ability to do something, but not necessarily loved. I hope y'all getting this because maybe the downloads that I got when I was studying Hannah, I was like, God damn, this shit deeper than what I ever fucking thought that it was. Can you imagine? Can y'all fucking imagine? Girl, you gonna have to wait because I am not gonna get off my. Can y'all imagine? This reminds me of Sarah and Hagar, as well as Rachel and Leah. Like, which women would be comfortable giving birth to children but not getting her needs met for intimacy and companionship? How many of y'all have given birth to children, but you never got your needs met with that man for intimacy or companionship? Think about how what y'all birthed into those children. Come on. That's why they cutting up. Because you can't give something you didn't get. Huh. Hmm. That's why them kids live in a state of confusion. Because they was born in it. I just be trying to help y'all out. And I'm trying to use my little old PhD to really throw it on y'all. Really make y'all think about some shit. Like this is like like when I studied this, this was a whole motherfucking like The download that I got from this was like which woman would be what woman would be comfortable with that? You are not getting your needs met for companionship or for intimacy. You just getting fucked. And in the process of getting fucked, you get pregnant. So while Peanut's behavior was not justified, because life was rough for her too, but hurt people. And honestly, Peanut, she deserves some sympathy too. Do you know or do you have someone in your life who just mean for no apparent reason? What's their story? Hmm? What's their story? I bet it's fucked up. And when you get something, and when a spell works, or when you want something manifested and it actually happens, keep your promise to your ancestors. We find ourselves in desperate situations, and you go to God, you go to the spirits, you go to your ancestors, and we promise and promise and promise. Remember when you were going to church, you made all these promises. You remember when you got in trouble and shit, you making all these promises to God, and then you get what you asking for, and then you don't do what the promises are forgotten when all is well in your life. When you make a vow to God, when you make a vow to your spirit team, your spirit guide, your ancestors, your patron, your saint, your Orisha, do not delay in fulfilling it. The Bible says that God has no pleasure in fools. That's what the Bible says. He said, it is better not to make a vow than to make one and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin. That's in Ecclesiastes 5, 4, and 6. The magnitude of Hannah's gratitude was in her gift. Always give your ancestors the best you can. Samuel, her son, was already dedicated to God because he was a Levite. But Samuel was also going to take Nazareth vow also. So Levite services was for 20 years of life. Nazareth was usually just for a period of time, and that was short. So Hannah took all that to a whole nother level when she gives Samuel back to God for his whole entire life. Would you say we need class on offerings? I need to do a class on offerings. I do have a ancestor class. It's on my website as well. If you go to my website, magicalLadyDuchess.com, and you can click on or put in a search engine, just type classes, it will pull up every class I've ever taught. Um, this was a great measure of giving to God. Thank you, Reach One, Teach One. Hannah did not feel happy about leaving her son at the temple, but she felt deep joy because of the gratefulness she was that her prayer was answered. You can only understand the gratitude if you knew her pain. How's your giving? How's your gratitude? How? God continued to answer Hannah's prayer. Do you know she went on to have other children after Samuel? Did y'all know that? Because she was faithful in her work, because she followed through with what she said she was going to do. Guess what happened? He gave her other children after Samuel. Because she gave him back. She said, I'm gonna give you he said, I'm gonna give you this. So she had a blessed life. So I hope this video encourages you guys. Get my Hannah oil. Get my Hannah oil. It's on the website. Look under oils. But I hope this encouraged you to find your Hannah in you and really spend some time digging into this character, into this spirit, into this entity, into this thing of healing for you. Um, I don't want to make light of this subject, and normally I would crack jokes and stuff like that, but I wanted you guys to really have something. So I hope this video finds you guys in a good spirit. I hope this was a good lesson. I hope you guys got something out of this. I hope that you are encouraged. I hope that you walk in your light. If you want to give a donation, you can go on my website and you can type in the search engine donations and you can certainly give one. Or you can give one here as well while I'm on the live. But I really appreciate this opportunity and I appreciate you guys spending over an hour with me. And if y'all love this, I'll keep doing them. I'll keep sharing these. I'll keep doing them. And you guys have a great day. Ashe.